I wanted to touch on a little bit about our partner program. Ken, of course, can give you greater details on that. I think we offer what are pretty generous margins. Our gold partners get trained to do the installations. Silver partners are those who simply want to resell the solution. We have a recurring revenue subscription pricing model. We bundle user licenses together with support and maintenance on a yearly basis. So you will not only make money the first year, but you will also make money the second year, at slightly lower margins. I think you'll find that there will also be upsell opportunities. At the time of the renewal, our customers typically are interested not only in purchasing some of the newer functionality that we offer at that time, but they're interested in expanding the user base and purchasing more licenses. A couple things we do in our partner program. We offer deal registration. So if you find an opportunity, please notify Ken and CMI. We can register it in our Salesforce.com database. We can clear any conflicts, let you know if there's been any history, if this customer has already visited our website. By registering it, we would be able to give you margin protection. You would have the gold or silver level margin for that opportunity. If the customer then sought to purchase through another authorized Accellion partner, they would get lower margins because the opportunity had been registered to you. So we think that's a pretty helpful thing for resellers who find deals and then put lots of time and effort into trying to get the customer to play. We will also offer you an Accellion virtual appliance that you can use yourself for free for a year at 25 users. This means that you're going to not only be able to get the benefit of Accellion yourself, but you can send these Accellion links to your customers, and they're going to click on them, and they're going to think, gee, what the heck is this? And it's pretty neat, and how can I get this for myself? I think our most effective partners have been the ones who really made good use of their internal appliances to interact with their customer base, whether it's sending out log files securely to them, invoices, marketing materials. They found it to be a great way to generate interest and additional business by using their internal Accellion appliance. Also wanted to point out that we have a territory sales model. We do not have competing direct and channel sales teams. So in addition to deal registration, I think this is probably a comforting fact about our practice. We've been around a long time. Most of our employees have been with Accellion a long time. I've been around 6 years. Our CEO and CFO have been around even longer. We've got some salespeople that I hired back in 2006, still with the company because they've done an excellent job. So I think you'll find us to be a really good and responsive crew here. We don't have 1,000 people necessarily, and so if you're used to waiting a few days or a week to get a return call from a vendor, that's not going to happen with us. We will be all over your calls and emails, and I think you'll find that us as well as CMI are very responsive to your needs. I thought I'd now give you sort of an overview through screenshots of what the solution looks like and how it works. It really all begins with creating some kind of a message, whether that's going to be through the Accellion webmail interface or Outlook, SharePoint, OCS, but essentially a user is going to be in some type of a potential messaging application. So they're going to be creating some kind of an email, attaching files, documents, and hitting the send button. The first thing that will happen is that file or files will be uploaded to an Accellion appliance. This is going to be a hardware box, a virtual appliance, usually sitting in their data center in the DMZ, or it will be uploaded to the Accellion cloud. The next thing that happens is we will insert links into the email they've typed, and then that email is sent to the recipient or recipients with the link, and the recipient will review the email, click the link, and that will trigger a download of a copy of the file from that Accellion appliance. And then after 7, 14, 30 days, the extra copy that was uploaded onto the appliance will be automatically deleted. You'll also find that the person on the right, the recipient, will have the opportunity to send files back in to the sender through that same Accellion appliance. The person on the right does not need any special software. They don't need an appliance of their own. They will need a password to send back in to the sender on the left. There are many different ways for the person on the right to be given a password, anything from an administrator inviting them to an end user inviting them or to a more automated procedure. It's basically a bi-directional kind of system. And this is sort of the basics of how it works. This is a look at the Accellion webmail interface. When you have an appliance, it will get an IP address and a corresponding URL. Maybe it will be something like cmiexpressfile.com. The users will go to that location and they'll see a page like this that would be rebranded with your customer's logo and colors. This one is branded with the Accellion logos and colors. It's our internal appliance. A user would log in to this webmail interface with their existing email address and their existing network password. That's possible through the integration with LDAP and Active Directory that we do. So unlike FTP, users will not need separate accounts and passwords. They can take their current credentials and log right into this thing. They'll also have a chance to avoid this completely and simply use Outlook or Lotus Notes if they like. This is an example of how that page can be rebranded with the customer's colors and logos. And it also flows through into the actual send file page. And you can see here what it's kind of like to send an email with an Accellion link through the Accellion webmail interface. There's a to field, a subject line, a browse button through which you can attach files or folders, a place to type your messages, and a send button at the bottom. I won't go through all the individual feature sets here. We'd be happy to take each one of you through an actual live demo of the solution sometime after the webinar today, but this is kind of an overview of how the webmail interface works. We also offer an Outlook plugin, and as it is downloaded to a desktop, it will show up in the toolbar for a user on the right-hand side. You can see there the Accellion logo. And the nice thing is the user does not have to do anything different once they have the plugin. They can use the attach file paperclip there in the middle, attach files like they always do, hit send, and on the back end, that file will go out as a secure Accellion link. A copy of what they've attached will be uploaded to the Accellion appliance. A link will be inserted in this email, and then that email and the link will go straight through whatever email server this customer is using. They don't have to make any changes to the email server. It's possible so that every file attached by every user through that paperclip will go out as a secure Accellion link. Some customers choose not to do that. They only want larger files to go out as Accellion links. That's really up to them. Our best practice recommendation is that they require all attachments to go out as Accellion links. Whatever their policies, someone can always make sure something goes out securely if they use the logo button on the right-hand side there. That will make sure that it goes out as Accellion no matter what the size of the file is. We also have a plugin for Lotus Notes if some of your users are using that. If I sent you an email with an Accellion link, this is basically what it would look like. Looks like any other email you got that day. You see my message, my signature block. What's different is the stuff below the signature. The first line tells you how long this file is going to live on that appliance for download. The next thing under that, you'll see a hyperlink, which you would click to trigger a download of the file. To the right of that, we also have an optional fingerprint feature, which is a security measure. And then there's some language towards the bottom, which you can customize. You can say whatever you'd like to a potential recipient here. But essentially, this is what the recipient experience looks like. As I mentioned, we have a number of deployment options. We started with hardware appliances. which is basically our proprietary software with some of the Linux Red Hat operating system hardened on a HP DL series appliance. In addition to VMware appliances, we now offer virtual appliances for Citrix Zen Server and Microsoft Hyper-V. And we've been using the Amazon Cloud for our hosted services, and that's been increasingly popular with folks. If you, of course, have some rules about where the data center needs to be, I'm not sure Amazon actually has a particular cloud in Canada at this time, so most of your customers would probably want to choose either the virtual or the hardware appliance. Many of our customers buy a single Accellion appliance, and that works for them. We recommend, certainly for larger organizations, that they get two so they can have backup and disaster recovery. Also, some of our customers have global businesses, and instead of sending a file to someone in Hong Kong and having them try to download it from an appliance in Toronto, they will put a second appliance in Hong Kong. So you would upload to the Toronto appliance, Accellion would automatically copy that to the appliance in Hong Kong, and then the Hong Kong recipient, when they click a link, they would download from the appliance in Hong Kong, which would give them a more LAN-like experience, both on the download and then when they send something back, they would have more of a LAN experience when they upload files. So we do have this capability for folks who are doing global business. As I mentioned, two appliances are a best practice recommendation for disaster recovery. We also, in addition to Outlook, Lotus, and the webmail interface, have an integration with SharePoint. This is an increasingly popular application, particularly among Fortune 1000 type firms. Out of the box, SharePoint is not really set up to share beyond the firewall. So with our integration, if someone is in a SharePoint document library, they will find in the drop-down box a new choice, which says Send by Accellion. And this would allow them to create a message and send it out with a link from within SharePoint to their recipient beyond the firewall. And so this is a nice way of adding some external secure file sharing to SharePoint without having to go through the cost and expense and ongoing administration of a full-blown, expensive extranet. We also have a similar integration for Microsoft IM product. You can see here that whether you are in an ongoing conversation with somebody or you just want to send someone in your contact list a file, we give you the choice to do that securely, which is an important thing. Increasingly, users are using all types of applications to communicate and send files, and part of our mission is to offer a secure transfer method at all these different points of communication.